and get rewarded along the way with wine, women, and song.
Well, there is a thrill in sin at a certain level, but then it always gets really scary down that road. I just, and again, I'm not up here on some high horse saying, well, like, you know, the fake church up there acting foolish and attacking everybody, which actually drives folks away. But clearly, you know, aborting our children, this whole anti-human agenda, we can see where it leads. It's just, it's hellish. And it seems to me hell is almost of its own making. I know God judges us, but at the same time, to me, hell is just a place where all the bad spirits who resonate towards that go, and that's what makes it hell, is that the parasites, the vampires, don't have a God's creation to feed on. It's almost like a phantom zone that they're being sent to. I mean, what is your idea of hell from a biblical perspective?
Well, I think that there really is extreme suffering in hell. And, you know, the reason is, it's like you didn't learn the lessons of earth through listening to conscience. And so you're going to get the extreme pain of consequences all poured onto your mind, and it tends to purge out of people. In God's own mercy, it tends to purge any desire to do those things again because they remember the pain. And that's what I think hell does from a godly standpoint, is help the people purge those evil desires because they experience the full pain. And remember, the entire concept of satanic-driven government is to exclude people from the pain of their consequences so that they aren't judged, so that they do, you know, they get immunity from things. You can see that God needs to give consequences and pain that we might learn, if only by, at the end of this world, through the chains of hell.
It's pretty heavy stuff, and whether folks believe in God and the devil or not, as a group consciousness, it is manifesting, and the world elite do follow Luciferianism. And then their minions are Satanists. It's just, it's hardcore. Chris, you're on the air with Joel Skousen. Thanks for holding. Then we'll go to John, Mario, Alex, and Ian. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, Mr. Skousen?
Fine, thank you.
I have a quick question. I'm a college student here in liberal California, you know, and a lot of my colleagues, I've noticed, aren't really, you know, that educated, unfortunately. And not trying to be arrogant or anything, but, you know, the education level here is, like, really dumbed down. And, you know, it's ridiculous. I live over here in the midst of what's happening with Jade Helm and everything, and, you know, it's pretty scary stuff. But, you know, just my question was for you is, what do you think about, you know, the whole Edward Snowden revelations and whatnot? Because my colleagues, when I told them about it, they couldn't care less. I mean, they don't even know who their governor is, let alone the vice president. So what's your opinion on that?
Well, the Edward Snowden revelations, and I think he's sincere, by the way, I think that they're the most significant revelation because it gave the mainstream world at least a glimpse into the fact of this total awareness spying program that the government's been involved in. And Snowden didn't even know half the picture. I mean, they've been spying on everyone and everything for years, even before 9/11. It's very, very significant, and it's a good test for people. If they aren't concerned with total spying of people, it's because they've been told it's just metadata, that it isn't the content. Let me tell you, it's impossible to extract the metadata until you have the total content. They've got it all. And you have to understand the reason. The reason is eventually to take down dissidents. You know it can't be for terrorism because terrorism is mostly a controlled government operation. So this is a litmus test to me to see if people have a good conscience. They should be concerned. If they aren't, I don't really deal with a lot of people who don't sense that something's wrong. I only concentrate my efforts on those that are at least aware enough to sense that something's wrong.
I was about to say, Christ said, knock the dust off your feet. It's not that we don't love these people, but when they laugh at us and they show that spirit of contempt, it means they're probably too far gone. You need to move on to those that are receptive. That's where you want to plant your seeds, is in the good soil where it actually bears fruit.
Definitely. You know, I have I bought my laptop to school one time, you know, do a presentation and whatnot. People were asking why I had tape on my webcam. You know, they were ridiculing me for it. And I mean, I explained to them why, you know, because of the whole NSA thing, and I told them what was going on and everything, and they couldn't care less. They used that whole false straw man argument.
Well, sure, they think denying there's a problem controls reality. They're very childlike. Joel Skousen's our guest. Joel, can I twist your arm for one more segment?
Sure.
All right, worldaffairsbrief.com. Thanks for doing that. Thank you, caller. John, Mario, Alex, and others. We're going to come back and rapid fire go through your calls. So be ready with your questions or comments straight ahead. Back in just a few minutes.
You know about RVs, you've heard about bunkers, but surviving is not recreation, and man wasn't made to live underground. Introducing Survivalist Camps, the ultimate fully functional off-the-grid survival bug-out house that's mobile, well-equipped, and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Go to survivalistcamps.com to learn more. That's survivalistcamps.com, providing your basic needs to survive. Survivalistcamps.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients, extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
It's very easy to be a criminal. All you need to burglarize a home is one simple household tool, a pair of scissors. If your home security system can be compromised by a criminal using scissors, then you're making it easy for them. Almost every home security system, even those sold by big-name companies, has a weakness. The phone line. You shell out $1,500, get locked into a long-term contract, and think you're safe. But a burglar can destroy your alarm in seconds with one snip. And when a burglar cuts your phone line, you're defenseless. Simply Safe Home Security is the smarter choice. Built by Harvard engineers, Simply Safe uses a wireless connection to call the cops. Scissors can't cut it. And that means your home stays safe. 24/7 professional monitoring is under $15 a month with no contract. Simply Safe Home Security keeps you safer than the other guys for half the cost. Protect your home with the alarm you can trust. Simply Safe. Go to simplysafedefense.com now for an exclusive 10% offer. That's simplysafedefense.com.
Day after day, alone on a hill.
Joel Scalzo of worldaffairsbrief.org. He's the editor there as our guest. I'm Alex Jones. Let's move quickly through your calls. John in Texas, you've got a question for Joel. Go ahead.
Yes, my question is, I'm a black male. I speak Spanish fluently, and I just I went down and got some property down in Panama. I like Joel's expert opinion on Panama. I'm just really concerned. I love the country. I'm just concerned about China in Panama with the Panama Canal.
Well, it's a good question. You ought to be concerned. I've spent a lot of time in Central America, including Panama. It's got, perhaps the best banking ability for Americans, even despite the new shutdown of a lot of banks in Central America aren't dealing with Americans anymore, but you can get service in Panama. You've got to remember, though, that Panama is not a principled country. It'll make a deal with anybody who plans to bail them out. That's why they made their extensive deals with Red China. China is intending to take the Panama Canal, and that means occupying the country someday. What I'm telling you is that all of the expat experience about the nice, cheap, easy living in Latin America, especially Central America, won't hold up during a wartime scenario. The tourist economy will disappear. They'll be in constant deficit. I think they'll confiscate American bank accounts and perhaps American property. So I think while you still have a few years to enjoy that, you ought to make plans to come back and strategically locate in the United States. And you might reference my book on that. But
absolutely. Joel, let me ask you a question. Is there anywhere in the world you think is better than the United States?
No, not for Americans especially. Americans can blend in here. We're going to lose our liberty as a nation, in my opinion, but there'll be pockets, large pockets of resistance, especially out west, where a lot of the good people will migrate after and during war, and there'll be new majorities formed that I think will be able to resist.
I mean, the preppers are the people that see it coming. Thank you for the great call, John. And just by the source of our economy, and we'll build new little societies. Let's talk to Alex in Wisconsin. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Salutations, Joel. Alex, I have two questions. First question for Joel is, I've heard Alex answer this one, but what's at the bottom of the rabbit hole?
And you're talking about the globalist conspiracy?
Well, where does it all end with? Is it just Satanism, as Alex says, or is, where does it all get to the bottom of it,
What's the end game?
Well, the end game is total control without you realizing that you're under total control. In other words, sufficient crises so that people yield up their sovereignty and their free will, and keeping you in constant crisis so that you will continue to do that. But ultimately, Satan is interested in the corruption of the soul. It is a satanic agenda, and that's why he's not content only for control. He wants corruption as well. That's why he's working on Hollywood, literature, books, movies.
And you can see the acceleration. They're now in major newspapers saying pedophilia is not a big deal, and you're basically a pedophobe. I mean, they're really, there is no bottom of the pit. Thank you, caller. Appreciate that. One last call, and I'll come back to the other callers. Joel's got to go. Mario, you're our tail gunner with Joel Skousen. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Joel. Just want to say I'm huge fans. Me and my girlfriend were at Cal Gym, and we just love the energy you brought. People are waking up. There's no question about that. Joel, for you, people are waking, to the atrocities that our government are part of, but some are still worried about questions like conspiracies about inflatable balls in the NFL, but they don't want to believe that there's evil people controlling the government. What would you say to that?
Well, that's a big question. First of all, you've got to remember that there's a lot of phony conspiracy theories put out there specifically to discredit true conspiracies.
Cass Sunstein admitted that White House plan.
Right. I spent a lot of time debunking what I consider the false conspiracies, and they're all over the place. There's a lot of conspiracies talking about imminent nuclear war because of Ukraine. It's not going to happen. Russia isn't ready yet. And they're going to get people tired of who buy into that and run around with like a head with their cut off, claiming that nuclear war is imminent. When it doesn't happen, then when the real threat gets close, nobody will listen.
Well, look at how we never said martial law this summer, that it was training for that and part of a long-term conditioning. They never quoted us or linked to us. They just said, we said imminent, war, takeover this summer. So when it doesn't happen, they'll write articles and say we said that. So obviously that's their agenda.
And then even in the economy, we've had people, notable people, from Peter Schiff to John Williams and Gerald Celente for the past 3 years predicting imminent collapse. And they don't understand. I'm sure the economy in the free market should collapse, but they don't understand the power of the powers that be to keep things going and to not do that.
Joel,
So
we're out of time. Thank you so much.
We're on the
We'll
march.
be back.